Welcome to week 2 of the Tim and Chuck Show, presented by Bat and Stevens Body Shop. We are here on location at Frickers, and Chuck, they're taking care of us again. One nice spread.
Great spread. A little bit of extra protein today. You know, it's getting into week 2. You might need that little. Your muscles might need that extra little pop after a rough week 1.
A rough week 1. Chuck, we're into week 2. Any surprises from last week?
Yeah, you know, I think Fairview opened some eyes. We had talked about that earlier. You know, came out and beat Waseon for the first time in several years, and they're playing well. And it's, right now, Fairview's got a group of kids that they've been wanting. They've been waiting for them to get to that high school level.
That was a nice win for them for sure. Chuck, Ethan Matson was out there shooting 2 games for us this week. We got to jump in and show some fun that he got on film. And here's the first one. I don't know if it was Shark Week at Archbold, Dolphin Week, but we got the fans out there with an inflatable.
Yeah. No, ma'am, just a dolphin.
That was a lot of fun.
The beach at Archbold.
Well, there you go. There you go. Now, this one was pointed out to us by our videographer here, Mark Freilich. He's got a great shot. We've got them tossing shirts into the stands at the Archbold game. You see a man, he gets one, he already has one. They throw another one his way. He's got it in his hand, and the one behind him says, "Oh, contraire, mon frere, the battle for the shirt."
Right, you know, he's thinking, heck, if it's free, I'm taking 2, and she's like, nope.
That was great. You have to. We appreciate that in slow motion, by the way. And then here's your cute factor for the week, Chuck. After the Defiance Napoleon game, you got a young Napoleon fan wearing a helmet. They're playing with the plastic football, and he's going around tackling everybody.
That's right. You know, if the Tim and Chuck show's around like in 10 years, we'll get this kid back on. And
we'll interview him, and we'll talk about it. He'll probably actually fit in the helmet by then.
Right.
All right, Chuck, let's jump into what we're here to talk about. We have a new sponsor this year for the Game of the Week. We have Varsity Club Apparel Company. They are sponsoring the Game of the Week. And this week's Game of the Week, Chuck, we've got Napoleon at Liberty Center. Both teams 1-0. Napoleon beat Defiance 21-7, got back the rock. Liberty Center ended a skid against Sonora. Here they are, 1-0. And you know, a couple of teams that know each other well in Henry County. Right,
and that's the thing. Week 2, you know, usually you start getting into more of a grind because there's not that many rivalries really anymore, because that's all week 1 or week 10. But boy, you get 2 Henry County teams together that the people just don't like each other. You know, that makes for great drama, great football on Friday.
Well, there's a lot of twists here. You've got Rex Lindgren. He's in his last season. He would love nothing more than to beat, you know, the big boy on the block. And then you got Tori Strock, who played quarterback for Rex in high school. Going to Liberty Center. I just think this is going to be a fun matchup. What are going to be some of the keys?
Yeah, you know, you're looking at defense. Obviously, defense got it done for both teams last week. You know, if it wasn't for Napoleon's defense, they would have 14 less points and no W, probably. So, and same thing for Liberty Center. So, you're really looking at their offenses really have to get something going. You know, last week Liberty Center's offense had a lot of trouble with one of Tenora's down guys, and they did a good job of adjusting to be able to get points on the board. And Napoleon's going to have to do the same thing. They're going to have to find a way, make adjustments to get that offense rolling.
Well, Zach Carpenter rushed for 162 yards and 2 TDs, both scores for Liberty Center last week. And like you said, Napoleon's defense, 2 pick sixes in the 21-7 win that got the rock back. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, you know, the lights are on, man. Let's see who shows up. It's going to be great football.
Well, Chuck, you know, last week we promised a couple of things. Last week we promised the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week and the Jacobs Meats Play of the Week, but we're going bigger than that. We're going times 2.
Exactly.
We've got the Rose Insurance Collisions of the Week. What do they say about that, Chuck?
You know, they say a rose by any other name would not be the Rose Insurance Collisions of the Week.
Well, let's start with Defiance and Napoleon, Chuck. Let's go with that Collision of the Week first. What do we have?
Yeah, you know, you're looking at the film here. We've got the Defiance's Dakota Coates. He's going to come through and put a big old hit on the quarterback, Grant Strock. And unfortunately, the officials called this one an incomplete pass, but still to get a hit on a quarterback like that, that's just stuff you dream of as a defender.
Well, that's the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week, Part 1. Part 2, Chuck, Archbold, Hicksville, what do we have there?
All right, as you look at the film, somebody get the waitress, because we need some syrup packs for the pancakes that Ben Zimmerman is handing out as Toby Walker goes up through the hole. But unfortunately, you've got Mason Van Adda from Hicksville that is just carrying over drill work with a great rugby tackle to stuff that play after the big pancake.
Well, that's the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week, Part 2. Congratulations to those guys for some big hits. All right, let's talk about the Jacobs Meats Plays of the Week. Again, going to Defiance Napoleon. We've got the score tied 7-7 late in the first half. We've got Defiance quarterback Javen Newton going back to pass. And we've got Blake Fisher saying, "Not so fast, my friend," stepping in front of that pass, taking it to the house for a pick six. Napoleon takes a 14-7 lead at halftime on the way to a 21-7 win. That's our Jacobs Meets Play of the Week, Part 1. Part 2, again from Archibald Hicksville. We've got an Archibald punt off the foot of Alex Klein. It's fielded by Hicksville's Peyton Tunis, who fakes the reverse to teammate Mason Comiso, runs up the left sideline, has some daylight. Getting back to Alex Klein, he's the only guy in his way, puts a juke on him, runs up the sideline and scores for Hicksville.
Yeah, somebody get that man some ankle braces.
That is our Jacobs Meets Play of the Week, Part 2. We've got to talk about a new product that the Crescent is putting out again, the Blitz.
Correct.
Talked about it last week. I think it starts this week. It's going to be full of good stuff.
Oh yeah, you know,
fans.
it's like a football tab every week. I mean, it's just going to have all sorts of photos and stories for the upcoming week. And I mean, if you're a football fanatic, you're going to love this thing when it comes out every week.
Well, Chuck, before we get out of here, I just have to ask you one thing. Any words of wisdom?
Well, you know, as I'm going to get on my mobile phone here, you always have to be prepared. So that means bring your wet naps.
See you next week.